Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird, then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey listeners, Katie here. So as you probably noticed, we didn't end up airing the our third anniversary live Facebook episode as audio because when I was listening to it and trying to edit it, it just wasn't that interesting without seeing what we were doing and talking about. So if you missed that episode on our Facebook page, you can go to the Two Artsy Gals fan page on Facebook. If you don't already follow it, it's just Two Artsy Gals, and the video is still there. So you can watch that if you would like. This is a funny, weird little episode. It's just a goofy conversation that Lonnie and I had about found objects and what they are, and places that you can find them, and things that you can use them for. We are kind of all over the place this day. I don't really know what was going on with us. I hope you enjoy the episode though. It was kind of, like I said, it's all over the place, but I'm going to stop making excuses for it and just let you listen to it. If you like this show and you want to keep episodes and content coming at you and maybe see some improvements made and see us continue to grow the show, we need your support. This is a 100% listener-supported podcast. We do not belong to a network, and we do not have advertisers, so we really depend on our listeners to help us keep the show going. You can do that in a few ways. I wanted to talk about one way that we often forget to mention, or I don't give enough attention to, but we would really like it if you guys gave us some feedback on iTunes especially. Go give us some stars and leave us a review, because that will bump us up in the algorithm that they use when people search, or just get us noticed and put us more at the top of our category so more people find Two Artsy Gals and we can gain more listeners and have more support. So if you guys could do that, that would be fantastic. If you could just take a few minutes on your phone. Also leave us reviews or comments or stars or ratings on Stitcher or Google Play or the other apps, whatever you use to listen to us. But if you are using iTunes, that's kind of the biggie. And we get a lot of listeners from there. If you could do that, that would be fantastic. You can also support us by donating money to us. You can do that through our website, twoartsygals.com. There is right now an Amazon donate button. Lonnie and I had a meeting after we recorded this episode about getting our Patreon going again. And we talked about incentives that would be make sense for a podcast and entice listeners to support us. So that will be available next week. I'm working on getting it all going this week, and I think we came up with a few things that you guys are going to like. So if you don't want to use Amazon to do like a one-time donation, you can even set that up to do monthly donations through our website just by clicking the Amazon button. We will have the Patreon up and going next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about it when we unleash that. Unleash? It sounds like we're letting some kind of wild animal go. Release the Kraken! Rah! You can also support us simply by spreading the word about the podcast. Tell your friends about us. Tell people about podcasts. Teach people how to listen to podcasts. Show them how to download them on their phone. Download the app for your grandma so your grandma can listen to podcasts. Just spread the word. People find out about our podcast through word of mouth. We don't have any advertising, so it's very helpful to have you guys telling people about us. Share us on all the social medias. We are on all of them. We are on Facebook, of course. We're on the Twitter. We're on Instagram. And follow us on Pinterest, because we put up a fresh board for almost every single episode. We fill it full of our research and examples and things that pertain to the episode so that you guys can see what we're talking about and have a visual and maybe get some great ideas and inspiration for the projects that we talk about on the show. You can also support us by going to our website, towardsygals.com, and gifting us something from our Amazon wish list. We keep a list of things that we would like to talk about. You know, we find a product that we want to use, but it's not something that we would normally buy for ourselves because we wouldn't really use it in our artwork personally, but we think it would be a cool subject for the show. So go have a look over there and see if there's something that you like the looks of. If you decide that you want to get it for us, we will thank you and let people know that you made that episode possible. We love hearing from you guys. We've been getting some email lately and it's awesome and we love it. So if you can email us your comments or questions, or just tell us you like the show or request topics. We love that. We're always looking to add more ideas to our master list so we don't run out of things to talk about. And that is twoartsygals@gmail.com. Just email us and let us tell us about some things. Or if you would like to leave us a voicemail message on our message line, we would love that. And you can do that by calling 503-395-7190. And we'll play your call on the show. It will be super cool. Anyway, I think, oh no, one more thing I want to talk about. I knew I was going to forget this. We have a Facebook group now. It's Two Artsy Gals Making Two Cool Shit, Yo. If you search for it on Facebook and request, we will add you to it. We would like to build a community of our listeners. We talk a lot more in there. You guys will see, listeners see more of the content that we post. And we have conversations with our listeners and share ideas, and we are possibly looking into doing some kind of swaps and contests within the group in the future. So please join us for that. It will be so much fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this episode. Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Lonnie.
And you're listening to Two Artsy Gals. Yay! Oh, that felt good.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my glasses off until I need them because now you're...
Yeah, I know. We're making Katie all
I'm just
dizzy
still
over
trying
there.
to get used to my new glasses. It takes a while to get used to a new prescription.
Yeah.
Especially because I had stopped wearing my glasses completely.
Oh.
Because I knew that they were the wrong prescription and they were not working.
So were you just suffering through it? Like,
well,
reading
yeah,
and stuff?
I can read without them. Like, I actually don't wear them when I read a book because you automatically adjust for the distance that you need where you
Right.
hold your book. So I don't actually use them. But with my phone,
yeah.
and you know what I did the other night for the first fucking time in like a year?
What?
I read the back of a pill bottle. Wow. I couldn't fucking read that before. Like, my eyes have gotten bad enough close up that I just couldn't fucking focus on that impossibly tiny writing
Wow.
on the back of a pill bottle, which made me really sad because I've always been the one that's like, oh, I'll read that for you.
Yeah. Oh,
But
man.
I don't know why doctors keep insisting on telling me that these things happen as we age, because I think it's a fucking rude thing to say.
I know. Like, no, to me it doesn't. Maybe
Whatever.
to everybody else.
As we age, I just want to go, wait, fuck you.
No, I'm not aging. What are you talking about?
It's like, I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I was just talking to a friend about it on the phone the other day. When I went to the doctor and they measured me, and I'm like, wow, I am the same height that I was in the 6th grade. Like, I haven't grown since I was 12 years old. I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
I can promise you. And she goes, oh, well, after 40, we need to start measuring your height once a year. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, we want to make sure that you're not shrinking. And I went, oh, you shut your mouth. The nurse goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I'm just joking, but still, ow. You could have like broken it to me gently. She goes, well, if you're not shrinking. And I'm like, well, it's fucking coming. My mom's 4'11" now, so.
You're going to be standing on your toes next time. She's going to be like, wait, you're 5'4" now.
What happened?
No, I don't know. I guess I'm not shrinking.
Right?
Apparently. I'm not shrinking.
I think that would be really hilarious just to stand on my tiptoes just to fuck with her. I'm going to do that the next time we measure my height. just going to stand on my tiptoes and have her go, what are you doing? Although she's super tiny and it makes me laugh thinking of her trying to measure tall people.
Yeah,
That's how you do that.
I don't know. You need
I
a
have to-
poker stick or something?
Well, hey, simmer the fuck down. Oh, I have that window open out there. I'm probably going to have to close it before we're done. What have you been doing this week, Lonnie? Oh my God. If you guys could see the disgusted face on her face right now. Nothing?
Good.
You just look so disgusted with the world.
I am kind of, but no,
sorry.
I'm in a rut.
I've been in a horrible
I'm
rut.
trying to do things. I tried to make a dress and failed yet again.
Is it the same dress that you're trying to work on?
Yes, I'm scrapping that. I'm not doing that again. I don't know why. It's just, so I'm coming up with a new plan.
Oh, are you using a pattern or are you free ranging it? Or
No, I'm using a pattern
okay.
that I've used before successfully, but now I can't seem to do it again. So
You know what you
I don't
need
know
to
what
do?
kind of magic I had the first time.
You
I
need
made
to
it.
walk away from it for a while.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You're not
Mhm.
going to do it right until you get like some space between you and what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I know. So I'm gonna try to make a different thing. I'm gonna try to make a peasant top. I think out of some silk I have left from that robe I made.
Ooh, that's pretty fabric.
Yeah.
That looks warm too. It's like a
It's like, but it's
a
light but warm. I don't
Yeah.
know. It feels good to wear. So I'm like, ooh, I kind of want a shirt made out of that. So I'm gonna try to make a hippie shirt.
hey, I don't know why you're in here sniffing around in all my shit, but get out of it. He was just licking the deer pelvis bone on my bookshelf that he has never paid attention to before.
He's just got to spring in his step.
He's
or
got some
something.
spring in his
him.
step right now because we were outside working on the front porch, so he's sassy.
Do you ever I have weird things happen during season changes.
Me too.
I'm moody. I get so moody.
I do.
And I'm like, oh, it's that
Okay,
again.
and here's this weird thing.
Like, why do I do this every season?
I get hungry.
Yeah.
Like weirdly hungry. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know what it is about season changes because I get like this weird hangry thing. Like I'm hungry
Yeah.
all the time. Like I woke up last night starving
Oh,
after 2 hours after I went to bed,
that sucks.
and I made fucking French toast.
Wow.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
So you got up and made French toast.
Because I needed to have French toast in my life.
Wow.
It was weird.
Yeah, there's times when I've done that where I get up and I can't go back to sleep because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But I'll usually grab like a little yogurt or something.
No,
I don't have the energy for making French toast.
I wasn't tired. It was like at about 10:30. Or it was probably like around 11:30 because I went to bed early last night. I didn't realize how early it was. Kurt asked me to help him change the sheets on the bed because I keep saying, let's change the sheets. Let's change the sheets. And then we forget to. So I just changed the sheets and then got in bed for some reason. I never go to bed that early. I've been spring cleaning like a mofo this week.
It looks great in
Been
here.
out of control. I'm having like cleaning tantrums.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just going crazy. But I did a thing. I don't even remember if I told you about this, but it was awful yesterday. You know how sometimes when you because I had the wand off the vacuum cleaner
Uh-huh.
and I was vacuuming, and you know how like you start to suck something up, but you see it and you register that it's there and you shouldn't be sucking it up before, but it sucks up before you can react.
Uh-huh.
So I was vacuuming in the bathroom, the downstairs bathroom. And sometimes my kitty, when she digs in her litter box, she kind of hockey pucks a little turd out on accident.
Yeah.
I sucked a fucking cat turd, like a soft cat turd,
Oh.
relatively fresh, up my vacuum cleaner hose.
Oh, gross.
And then it just blew hot kitty poo air for the rest of the day. Like I cleaned it out and all that. And but it was like I looked down because mine has like this gray corner attachment. It's just like a tube with a angled end.
Mhm.
And I looked down it and you could see like this it looked like someone sucked a brown crayon up and it just drew all over the inside of it. I was like, no, I threw it outside for a while.
Yeah.
I was mad. Then I was mad at
Gross.
myself because
Yeah.
I should have looked. But I was kind of just vacuuming up stray cat litter back there
Yeah.
because it's where the broom doesn't really reach behind the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a cat. Oh, that was a cat turd.
Oh, gross.
It was the dumbest thing ever. But other than
That's
coloring
kinda
the
funny.
inside of my vacuum cleaner tube, I haven't really been doing anything impressive or exciting
Aw.
artistically
Yeah.
this week, because I've been just like on this major spring cleaning. Just
Yeah.
I've been really depressed lately,
Aww.
and so that always, like, if I force myself to clean,
yeah,
then it makes me feel better.
I do angry cleaning sometimes.
Oh, I do angry cleaning's the best cleaning sometimes.
Everybody can just go.
Fuck you guys and your
Yeah.
scrubbing, and I hate every one of you.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes too. Those are kind of what a cleaning tantrum is what I call them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm sorry if I'm sniffly too, because I've been dusting a lot. So now, of course, I have the allergies.
Yeah. I've been I got the yawns and the allergies, man.
We're a mess.
Hurting. Yeah.
We're a mess today, I tell you.
Okay. I'm gonna
You
get it
know,
together.
I'm going to transition because I've been finding cool shit
Isn't that
while
great?
I'm cleaning, because like I cleaned out our roll top desk, mostly because my parents bought it in like 1973. It is like oak. It's an Ethan Allen. It's a nice piece of furniture. It's like a, but because in Oregon, like, wood shrinks and expands a lot because our weather changes so much and like the humidity changes so much. So the dovetail joints in the back of the bottom drawer separated, and you couldn't open the drawer. So I had a tantrum, and I manhandled the fuck out of that drawer, and I managed to like finally jimmy it around so that I could I popped I stuck my arm underneath and hit the bottom of the drawer, because the bottom of the drawer had fallen out of the groove. And I squiggled it all around enough to get it out and then fix it. But in the process, I had to take everything out. And I'm like, I'm not just going to clean out one drawer. If I'm going to clean it out, I'm going to take everything out of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And clean and organize it. So I found a wedding photo that I didn't even know we had.
Aww.
That was in a separate envelope that because my friend did our wedding photography. And I think she had put her favorites aside and gave them to us separately.
Oh.
And I completely forgot about it, and I love it. And I'm like, whoa.
It's so cute.
I love that picture. I think it needs to be framed.
Yeah.
I also found this little, I think it must have been a Happy Meal toy. August, when he was little and we would go to Goodwill, he always wanted 25 cents to buy the little plastic bag of the Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
They're just like the garbage toys that they're just bundled up in a bag, and that was his jam. So he probably got it from one of those, because he called it his multi-tool, because it was like a Swiss Army knife. But it was like it was plastic, but it looked like carved wood, and it had Peter Pan on it, and it had like a little shovel, and then there was
I think I remember
at the other end, the little tool looks like a little alligator, like with the mouth. And he carried that with him for like 2 years solid in the front pocket of his bib overalls. He'd be like, "It's my multi-tool." And he would do stuff, and it made me get weepy, because I'm like, oh, and because you just like,
yeah.
I'm not super sentimental about stuff like that, but there are things that I have kept for, that's one of them, for years, because it was just so, like, he had it for so long. But just stuff like that I found. It was awesome.
That's great.
But I also found like random buttons, and because, like, you know, drawers that you don't use very often turn into like the catch-all.
Yes.
Where am I going to put this? In the roll top desk drawer.
Yeah.
There were 1,000 pens that do not work.
Yes.
So I just scribbled, fuck that guy, doesn't work. Fuck that, doesn't work. I
Yep.
threw away so many pens and 1,000,000 pencils that where the erasers got all like that. You know how the eraser gets all hard and it just
doesn't work.
smudges
Yes.
the lead? So I threw all those away, even though it was just the eraser was the offending. But I was in purge mode. I'm in purge mode. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Now we're looking into getting one of those fucking big bag dumpster things. Have you seen those? They're not a whole dumpster. You can go to like, you can order them on Amazon, but you can also, like, they sell them at A-Boy. It's like a big tarp fabric dumpster size thing. And you buy it for like $30. And then you call your garbage company and set up a time. And it's like a half-size dumpster. It's not the size of a full big, like, I'm talking like the construction debris things, like not a regular dumpster. You know, the ones you order for your house. Yeah. But it's like half size. So it's like $150 to fill that after you buy it. But then it's like $150 for you to fill it with, I think it's like 3,000 something, I don't know, pounds. It has to be under a certain thing. But we have, like, because we have a mattress that we need to get rid of, and we have a bunch of shit in this house that I would just love to fucking throw away.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do it.
Wow.
Because I'm just fucking... Spring makes me purge hard.
Yeah. I need to do that too.
And
my clothing is out of control.
My clothing's out of control. Kurt just told me, like, he has all these t-shirts that he won't get rid of because his mom has a really, like, huge and awesome industrial embroidery machine. And so she makes all of his Bad Cahill's Barbershop t-shirts.
Nice.
But he doesn't want to get rid of the shirts. He doesn't want to give them to Goodwill because he doesn't want, like, you know, his logo out there in the world like that. And he doesn't want to, like, and most of the shirts are like, they've gotten a hole in the armpit. Like, they're worn out. He wears them every day for work. So anyway, he doesn't want to throw them away. But he told me I could cut them up and use them.
Nice.
For sewing things.
Yay!
So I'm going to just, like, maybe also use them for experimenting with new patterns when I don't want to buy brand new fabric. Or I can just make myself t-shirts.
Or scrundies. You could take the embroidery part and just cut it out, right?
Yeah, and he wants me
Or
to make
put
some
an
drawstring
interfacing
bags for him too, with the
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of like the Crown Royal bags.
Yeah.
But with the logo on it, so he can carry stuff around in them too. So I'm going to do that.
That's a good idea.
I was trying to use the objects I was finding in my roll top desk to segue into our found objects topic, but I kind of failed on that. Because, full disclosure, I got a work email as soon as we started recording, so I had to pause for about a half an hour and record or do my work so that I would get paid.
Yeah.
So now we're recording again. But I think we picked it up okay.
Yeah.
I made a mental note of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We'd only been talking for 5 minutes, though. I just realized we could have totally fucking started over. That was super dumb. But
our yay was so good.
It was a good yay.
We can't lose that.
No, we can't. Just making sure we're recording nice. It does this new jump thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's never done that before. It kind of weirds me out. Remember I did that before?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to ignore it. Do you know what I mean by found objects? Do you know what found objects are?
Things you find.
Yes.
Random shit.
Random shit. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
It's nothing fucking fancy, guys.
Yeah.
But found object originates from the French. I'm going to try to speak French right now. Ooh. You can laugh at me.
Ooh.
Object trouvé, I think. Does that accent make it a sound? I don't know. Object trouvé. That's what I'm going to pretend I know how to speak French and say that. Describing art created from undisguised but often modified objects or products that are not normally considered art because they are already a non-functioning, they already have a non-art function.
Yes.
So remember, like, I think we've brought it up a couple times, the fucking urinal.
Yeah. Yes.
So that kind of stuff that Marcel Duchamp did, it was called Fountain. We brought that up. Salvador Dali did this lobster phone, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
I loved it. But beyond that, like, people have been doing, like, those are just two bigger artists that have done that. But people have been using found objects for art for as long as people have been doing art, really.
Because it's a nice, inexpensive material.
There is no better art supply than one that is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we spend so much money on it all the time.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, give me a break every once in a while. Oh, look, I can make something out of this thing.
And in this, like, in the example that I gave, like, and there's a really cool article about it on the Tate Gallery website, which I'm going to post a link to so you guys can read more about the origins and all that of found objects and stuff.
Awesome.
But there are also a lot of displays of objects that are turned into art. Like, there's a cool big ass rock that looks like a skull.
Wow.
Like, things that you look at something, because I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that constantly sees faces in things.
Yeah.
Or, like, did you see the paver that I posted a picture of
a
while ago?
Yeah.
Our rock wall on our along our driveway, our retaining wall, has part of it fell. And it looks like the guy's like, yay! Like, it's like a smiley face on there. Like, he's really fucking excited, that piece of fucking stone, that it fell off the fucking top of the thing. So there's that. Like, people do, they take an object, like a larger object that is already a thing, and slightly modify it and make it a piece of art. But you can also just use found objects in your art and to make art. So it's kind of what I want to talk a little bit more about today. Because I have this, like my mom when I was a little girl used to tell me that I was a crow in my past life because anything shiny or fucking sparkly, I would immediately stop. Like, it didn't matter if we were walking across the street, if we were walking through the fucking parking lot of the grocery store, if a car was coming, like, I would be like, woo, shiny, and stop and pick a thing up.
Yes.
And I've collected little shit like that always. Like, I had boxes, like, my grandpa used to give me cigar boxes, and I would just load them with all my little treasures that I had found. And it's all, like, I would love to go back and look through them.
Yeah.
I don't, they're all gone.
Just
but,
stuff that kids think is worthy of keeping.
But I still do that. Like, I never fucking grew out of that.
Yeah.
But now, I'll just use my cool stuff in artwork.
Yes.
I have to purge once in a while. Like, that's what those are kind of, I mean, a lot of the stuff I bought, but also I used to, one of the things that I used to do a lot was we used to make my son go through his toy box twice a year.
Yeah.
Once before Christmas and once at the end of the summer right before his birthday. And he would have to get rid of toys. And it was a big struggle for him because he's an only child and he wants all the things. But I would just say, you know what? We're going to give these to a thrift store or a charity so that little kids who don't have toys and who don't have family members that can afford to buy them all the things can have things. Like, you don't play with any of these. These have been in the bottom of your toy box for 6 months.
Yeah.
You are not going to miss them. But I would harvest the broken toys and use them in my artwork.
Nice.
And it was kind of a way that, like, I think it made him feel like his toy was still around. He had a really hard time partying with action figures.
Yeah.
I think that he just, they were so alive to him when he was really little. That, do your kids have, like, super crazy imaginations?
Yeah, yes.
August always did. And so I feel like sometimes I felt bad. Like, I felt like I was making him get rid of real people.
No.
They also had a bunch of movies when he was a kid that came out that, like, there was the one. I know you're going to remember this. I can't think of the name of it.
Small Soldiers?
Yes!
Oh my god.
I didn't even have to describe it. That was a fucking crazy movie.
Yeah, it was. Really crazy.
But there was also...
I played a video game too. That was crazy.
There was also another one similar to that. Did they make a movie of Indian in the Cupboard?
Oh, yeah.
They did.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So there was that one, and then Toy Story, of course.
Yes.
So, that made me feel bad. That was a weird sidebar, but it applied. So, did you collect shit as a kid too, though?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think all little kids do that.
Yeah. Random things. Yeah.
I used to love it when you would find marbles in the garden.
Yes.
I never knew how the fuck marbles got in the garden.
Yeah. I found, yeah. Well, my dad he got us this old boat and made it into a sandbox. I think I've told this story. And then he, like, purposely buried some things in there.
You haven't told the story, and that is awesome.
And I didn't know that. So I was, like, digging and found this, like, little tiny glass mug, you know, or just, like...
Oh, my God, that's
random
so cool.
stuff. Yeah. And I was like, that's funny, Dad. Like, just little...
That's cute that he did that.
Trinkets.
We
Yeah.
used to find weird shit in our yard all the time. And, like, little... I can remember I would find these white plastic beads a lot, like, under the apple tree. When we were digging for, I don't know what the fuck. I used to think that I was going to be an archaeologist.
Yeah.
So we would have dig sites and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But I would always say that because the area that I grew up in, the Tillamook Indians lived there. And I can't remember what tribe they were absorbed into. But there aren't any left. But around the tide flats and then where I was, you used to be able to find a lot of arrowheads and stuff like that. And so I convinced myself, I was fucking convinced that the beads that I would find were trading beads
Yeah.
But they were fucking plastic beads. Like, you could see the seam. Like, my mom got into an argument with me because I tried to take them to school as show and tell. Because I was going to fucking show and tell the goddamn Indian trading beads that I dug up in my yard. And my mom's like, they are plastic. Look, you can see the seam around the side of them. I'm like, what seam?
I once found a rock in the river that had a hole through the middle of it.
Those are witches' stones.
Are they?
They're awesome. You should never get rid of one if you find one.
Oh, well, I
They
don't
have
know what
special
happened to
powers.
it, but I think my mom still has it. But we were like, maybe it was a Native American, like, fishing weight or something. I don't know, but like.
It could be. That also just happens in nature.
Yeah.
And
It looked almost purposely.
Now, that's cool.
Yeah,
Where did
it
you
was
find it at?
The Washougal River, the
Oh.
little Washougal. Yeah, but I don't know. I was the same way, though. I'm like, ooh, I think this was something that ancient person
There's a
used
magic
or
in
something.
finding like little weird treasures. When I was a little
Mhm.
girl, I used to get super fucking excited to go to the dump. Like, my mom used to have to keep me from fucking going balls deep in the fucking garbage at the dump.
Yeah.
Because people threw some crazy shit away back in the...
Yeah.
Before recycling, like in the 70s, when recycling wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Like...
Or Craigslist. Or,
Yeah. People would just fucking throw TVs away. And
Yeah.
like the big tube TVs, and they would be broken, and I would be like reaching in there to get like the crazy mechanical parts out. And my mom would be
Yeah.
like, put that down. What's wrong with you? It's garbage. And I'm like, but this is cool. It looks like a robot.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Why are you picking up garbage? I'm like, why are you bringing an 8-year-old to the dump? You know I'm gonna fucking pick up garbage.
Yep.
So stop with
Yep.
that. So that was back in the day when fucking my family would just throw we'd have a garbage pile in the back, and then like every few months take it all to the dump instead of paying for garbage service.
Yeah.
That's small town for you.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. But back on topic. So I want to talk about things that you can find. Because I think that there are some people who don't look at things like, there's a little bit of magical thinking. Like, I don't know. I think all artists and creative people have a little bit of magic in them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to look at, like, there was this guy I used to know. I don't even remember his name. He was a friend of a friend. But he used to walk through Multnomah Village and around the area after the curb sweepers
Mm-hmm.
had been through, and they would lose those metal
Yeah.
bristles, and he
Like-
would pick those metal bristles up and collect them, and
I
then
always pick them up too.
he made the coolest clay masks, and he would stick them in the
Oh,
clay masks as like
wow.
crazy mohawks or wild
Yeah.
hair or cat whiskers. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And now I always look for them.
They work
I
great
can
for
never find
cleaning
'em, though.
pipes too, scraping pipes out. That's what I always thought
I
they
love
were
you,
for.
Lonnie. But you can also
You
use
can
them.
put a fancy handle on
You
it.
can put like a cool Fimo clay, like make a
Yeah.
Fimo handle. But so I want to talk about shit, where you can find shit.
Yeah.
My favorite place to find shit is at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
The beach and parks.
Yeah.
Because people fucking lose shit all the time at those places.
My grandpa was a metal detector
Dude.
enthusiast. I want one so bad.
I want a
know.
metal detector so
I've always
bad.
had. I took one of his old ones, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't
very
work.
well. Yeah, I was like so excited, and then I was like, ah.
My niece asked for one for Christmas last year, and my brother got her one. And then I thought, when on the way home, I looked at
Well,
my
she's bored with it. Hey.
right. Well,
Right?
I told Kurt, I'm like, Kurt, would you think I was a dork if I thought it would be a cool hobby for us to like metal detect together? And he's like, no, I never thought you would want to do that. I totally want to do that. So,
Awesome.
I think that would be fun,
Yeah.
especially because like my family lives at the coast, so
Yeah.
go to the
My
beach.
grandpa found cool stuff all the time. He found a lot of pipes, which is pretty funny, like in parks.
oh, where kids
lot of
probably had
metal
to throw
pipes.
their
Yeah.
little metal proto pipes. I'm
Yeah.
just mourning one that
Yep.
I know I threw in the bushes at a
Yep.
park. So
Someone like my grandpa will come along and find
let's
it.
find it and be like, ha ha, stupid kids.
I loved looking through the stuff that he'd bring home. It was cool.
I saw on a thread, this is totally off topic, but I saw on this, somebody posted from a Reddit thread or something like that about this guy that had been a glass blower all his life, and his grandson drew him a picture of a crazy vase with a hole in it. that he wanted him to build. It was just this idea he had. And the grandfather goes, he had no idea that I knew he was asking me to make him a bong.
That is so funny.
So he goes,
my
I
God.
just blew a glass dick and gave him a dong instead of a bong.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Yep.
Kids are weird.
I know. They think they're so smart.
Look, grandparents, like people that guy's age lived through the 60s. They
Yeah.
know what a fucking bong is.
Yeah.
Jeez. Kids are dumb.
Yep. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so let's talk about nature
Mhm.
first, because you can use
There's so much good stuff.
lots of nature stuff
Mm-hmm.
in your art. So, of course, on the beach, you're finding shells, you're finding rocks, you're finding like driftwood that's all smooth and pretty looking. And again, with the seeing faces and stuff, I always see faces and things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I might be a little bit crazy because a lot of people don't see the faces that I see. I'm like, what? You don't see that? It totally looks like this. And they're like, no, whatever. You suck. You suck. But also, you can find cool shit. Like when I was a little girl and we lived at the lighthouse in Sequim, Washington. I totally brain farted the name of that place. My mom and dad used to always they would go walk the beach and find Japanese Coke bottles from the Japanese fishing ships.
Wow.
Because they would just throw them over. We have some. My mom has some. And they would find the glass floats the Japanese fishing ships used to use on their nets.
Wow.
And some great big ones. Like we had, I don't even know what happened to it. It was huge. My mom found a basket that it would set in so that it wouldn't roll around.
Oh,
They're all different
so
sizes.
pretty.
They're so neat.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled for, like, I was kind of obsessed and wanted to go comb the beach when the tsunami stuff was coming up. But my mom's scared. She's like, that has radiation. Everybody scared me and talked me out of it.
Yeah.
And
They're
I'm
like, don't. And then the news is like, don't touch it. Just call someone. Like, how could I not touch it?
so yes, that's why I didn't go look, because I wasn't going to not touch it.
Yeah, I know. Me
I was going to
too.
be like, cool. Because I was thinking of finding, like, imagining like finding little teacups or like awesome things. I'm sorry. There it is.
Or there was this place somewhere, and I don't know if this is an urban legend or if it's true, that like a Lego cargo ship spill.
What?
And like Legos wash up every once in a while. But see, that could be just a...
That would be awesome.
Yeah. It would be awesome.
We had one thing on the beach a while back. Now, this is another thing you got to be careful of. And I should mention also, be careful when you're picking shit up. Like you're combing for found
You might
objects.
want to wear gloves.
Like, yeah, because
I mean-
we had some medical waste spill off of a ship several years ago. So, like, dirty needles were washing up on the beach. And,
Yeah.
medical waste is yucky.
Yeah.
And you don't want to touch it.
Ew.
But, and I also want to know, like, the best found object things that I've ever found have been complete accidents.
Yeah.
I guess talking about it, just putting yourself in the mind frame of looking for cool things. Like, look at the ground when you're walking. Like,
Yeah.
look at your surroundings. And I look at the ground a lot because I have a balance problem. So I have to watch where my feet go. So, but I kind of just look at stuff.
My friend Austin was really good at that, and he would find the coolest shit. Like one day he found a little plastic green top hat with the number 13 on it.
That's fucking awesome.
I know, and we were just like, what? Like freaking out.
That would melt
like,
your brain a little bit. And
yeah.
but then you're gonna fucking put that would go awesome in some kind of mixed media art
Yes,
piece. This is
yep.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, he always was finding stuff like that. He was just in tune with that kind of thing, and it was always
That's
kind
so
of weirdly
cool.
serendipitous and stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
But other than at the beach, though, you can find, like, in nature out, like, hiking in the woods. You
Mhm.
can also find shit. Like, if you're into nature art, or even not, you can just throw some in there. You find pine cones
Mhm.
and all kinds of neat seed pods and
Yeah.
like those are fucking cool sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the little someone told us what they were called once. I call them tree maces from our tree in the backyard.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
you step on them. They fucking hurt when you step on them
Yeah.
barefoot. They come in on my dog sometimes because
Yeah.
he's a poodle mix, so he gets all these things, and then he leaves them on the
What does
floor.
someone call them, goat heads or something?
Goat heads?
Yeah,
I've
I don't
never
know.
seen it. If I saw a pointy goat head with like barbs coming out of it, I would stay the fuck away from that goat.
They have a weird, I don't know.
They
something
do
like that.
have weird names for things.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about the weird names that they have for nuts, because Brazil nuts, they should not be called what my grandpa called them,
I
and I'm not even
know.
going to say it out loud.
I know, mine
I had to
too.
lecture my grandpa about not saying that in front of my son.
Or I grew up, I didn't know for the longest time that filberts and hazelnuts were the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. I always thought filberts, I thought
I just-
hazelnuts were some fancy
We always
exotic
called
thing.
them filberts when I was a kid, and I wonder if that's an
Yeah.
Oregon thing, because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't. They're like, "What the fuck is a filbert?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
we have a filbert tree in our front yard that's
Nice.
growing out of the middle of our camellia bush. I think it might have
Weird.
been like a volunteer, like a bird dropped a seed there. It has nuts on it though.
Yum.
We get some crazy bird war action over when the nuts are happening. They go
Mhm.
crazy. They like fight over them and bury them all over the yard and fight with each other. It's
Mhm.
kind of nuts. I have to yell out the window, "Come on! It's too early for this shit."
My friend Cindy had a what is it? How do you say that word?
Persimmon?
Persimmon. Yeah, a persimmon tree in the neighbor's yard, and the birds would just do the same thing.
Eat the
You're just like,
Yeah. That's
"Give me
nuts.
those, give me
Birds are greedy
those."
fuckers.
Yeah.
They're pretty, but they're greedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, rocks are always a cool thing to find in
Yeah.
wherever you're at. No, I was a little kid who's like, I seriously loaded my pockets with rocks so much that my pants would fall down. When you're little
Yeah.
enough that you wore elastic pants, like with the elastic
Yeah,
back.
me too. I loved finding agates or different.
My sister-in-law, for their anniversary, my brother-in-law got her a rock tumbler. I totally want a fucking rock tumbler.
Yeah.
She's like, "Katie," because we were just there a few weeks ago, because everybody in my husband's family there's a pocket of people that have birthdays like within the same 3 weeks of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a big birthday party. And
Nice.
my sister-in-law was showing me her rock tumbler, and I'm like, "I totally want one." She goes, "It is not an instant gratification hobby.
No,
it takes like
yeah.
a fucking month." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "I know." And she goes, "And you have to change the grit and go from like bigger to smaller." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of a thing that you have to just put in the garage,
Yeah.
set a timer on your phone
Yeah.
to remind you of when you have to do a thing, and then just leave it." Like,
yeah.
but then you get really pretty things. I'm totally getting a fucking rock tumbler.
Good.
I want one. They have cheap ones at Harbor Freight Tools.
Yeah.
And my husband's downstairs. I hope he's listening to this. He came home early from work. Hear that, Kurt? What's that? I want a rock tumbler. Tumble my rocks, lady. What a
Mhm.
wiener. What a wiener. Okay. Also cool shit to find is like household items, like keys and silverware and like, so I think that the people that own the house that I grew up in, the house that I grew up in is a Victorian era house. It's really fucking cool. It was built by, I don't remember the man's name. He built our house and the house next door, and then had his nephew come, and they built most of the buildings in Bay City.
Wow.
And a lot of them aren't there anymore, but the early downtown structures of Bay City were built by these people. And I think that people just threw garbage piles. Like, they just had garbage piles in their fucking backyards. I used to find all kinds of weird shit, like broken teacups or like old skeleton keys, or like,
Yeah.
for a while I found some cool shit. And then
That's
I think
cool.
I found a pocket of stuff, and then it was no more. But yeah, finding like, again, why I liked the dump when I was a kid. And I like rusty objects, like old rusty shit, like old gears, or even washers are neat.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the household items, like containers. Don't like Old Spice containers. And they don't have to be old things. I'm talking about old things because
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were old things when I was a little girl. But anything like saving things too, they're not necessarily, so a found object doesn't legit have to be something that you found on the street.
Yeah.
But you can save like spice containers, like the boxes. We have a pretty nice size Pinterest board for this episode. And was it you that Did you send me a little spice, the metal spice container, like a robot that somebody made out of that?
So cute.
So fucking cute. Made
Yeah.
entirely of little found objects.
Yeah.
Bathroom items, vintage appliances. Okay, so I have told this story on here before, but I had a waffle iron that was given to me because it was actually in the house that I lived, the first house I lived in when I moved to Portland. It was owned by my ex-in-laws. And they're like, you can have it. And I carried that thing around with me. It was old as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it. It was so old that the light that was in the top of it that told you it was hot, you could look inside and see the coils, like the heated up coils.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that thing almost burnt my fucking house down finally.
Oh, shit.
Like, there was like, it melted the fucking counter. Like,
my
it was
God,
like there was
wow.
almost a fire. But instead of throwing it away, I took it apart and fucking harvested the parts and used it on a couple of art pieces. Actually, those were in the coils that I took and the little ceramic insulators and stuff were in the first piece of art that I ever sold.
Nice.
It was really cool. But
Yeah.
so I guess what we're talking about found objects today is you're in that mindset. Like, when your fucking blender breaks, don't just fucking recycle it or throw it in the garbage. If it's broken and it's never going to fucking work again, because they make fucking appliances shitty now
Yeah.
and they're not meant to be fixed and you can't fix them,
Yeah.
bust that motherfucker open and take some parts out.
Yeah.
You might find something fucking cool in there.
Yep.
There might be, I mean, a lot of it's computer, but I use little computer chips and processors and stuff too in artwork sometimes.
Yep.
I have a container in the garage of shit like that.
Nice.
I have a box out there that's called the art box, and I just put shit like that in there. I have the turntable to my old, like, my stereo broke,
Yeah.
but it was only a year old, and so I sent them a letter, and they sent me a new turntable. So I have the old turntable in there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm not going to fucking throw it away because I'm going to be able to use it on something.
Yeah. Yep.
This maybe seems a little bit hoarderish, but I do limit myself.
Yeah.
That's why I have the box.
Nice.
And I have little, like the little containers that you buy at the hardware store with drawers in them for screws and nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, if it doesn't fit in there, I either have to get rid of some stuff that's in there or I don't keep it.
Yeah.
I have to make decisions. That's
Yeah.
how I keep myself from making some hoarder things happen.
I found dried worm on the garage floor and I kept it. Because he was cool.
Why do you always say that kind of shit while I'm drinking?
He was dried in this perfect S shape. And so he looked like a mini snake.
Well, that's cool. You could put that in your artwork.
Yeah, I did.
That's
I
awesome.
glued 2 pieces of moss and I put it.
No. That's funny. One of my friends found a petrified, like a dried frog that had been run over, but it was perfectly flat and awesome. And she put it in someone's art journal
Wow.
for a swap. And I was super pissed that it wasn't my book that had she like put it between 2 mica tiles, like, so it looked like it was in this little specimen window. And I'm like, why the fuck don't I have a frog in mine? She must like her better than me.
So that counts, right?
Yeah, it counts as a found object. And bones
Yeah.
that you find in the woods all the time. I love
Mhm.
that. I found owl pellets and took the bones out of those.
That's true. Yep.
That counts as a found object. And thrift stores,
Yeah.
that kind of counts as a found object too.
The bins.
The bin,
especially.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We're doing that soon. We're gonna do a bins episode.
Yeah.
We are. We're gonna do like a challenge. We're gonna go to the Goodwill bins. We're gonna record live while we're there, and we're gonna find some shit, and then we're gonna upcycle clothes. And we're gonna go to our own corners, and we're gonna make some shit, and then we'll do an episode about it. We should do that like next month sometime, because that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
This is a good time.
It does.
Also, I need to update my wardrobe for summer wardrobe stuff.
Yeah. Yep. It's that time again.
It is. Yeah. Lonnie got here. I had the doors and windows open. I realized I was having a hot flash though, and it wasn't actually that hot outside.
No, It's warm
It
though.
was
It is
71
warm.
in the house though, and that's a little too hot for me.
I was letting the sun warm me up in the way here, and it felt good.
It does. So, let me see what I said. I feel like this is kind of a lame episode now that we're doing it. I hope it's not. I hope it's one of those episodes that I later listen to and go, that's not lame. You're silly.
Yeah.
But we do have, like I said, a good Pinterest board and some of the ways that you can use found objects, just so we can kind of go down a list of like, you can use that, like the little fucking green hat with the 13 on it would be awesome in an assemblage.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
like in a shadow box or like a diorama style assemblage or even like I used to do a lot of really dimensional artwork where I would glue stuff to a canvas. I did a lot of that with toys.
Yeah.
I would glue them to the canvas and then paint them. I would glue everything to the canvas and then I would like primer over them. So everything was like a solid color and paint that way. Or there were a lot of things that you can do actually. I have a few pieces. Actually, I'll post a couple pieces of artwork that I've done with little teeny toys. I used to order regularly from Tiny Things Are Cute, which is also a source for cool found object type stuff and altered objects. And she asked me what I do with all those because I had ordered pretty frequently, and I said that I used them in artwork and I used a lot of broken toys, and so she would save all of her broken stuff for me.
Aww.
And then when I would place an order, she would put a package of broken things that she couldn't sell in there just because I bought from her so frequently.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was really freaking neat.
I've seen also people do lamps and stuff or like
Yes.
frames by gluing little toy dinosaurs or something, say, and then painting them all a color.
Totally. Or even like
it looks cool.
Yeah, really cool. And like I filled that lamp full of stuff. Remember the lamp that I did for my son's birthday when he turned 20? I went through this box of crap that like little Legos and stuff. I bought some Legos too because I didn't have enough to fill it, but I kind of filled the lamp with Legos and then put like, he used to play with those stupid little finger skateboard things, tech decks. Fucking hated
My
those.
son, I know.
He always got them taken away from him in school. It was like a thing.
Yeah.
So I put like those and all the little action figures that he still kind of had laying around the house or that I'd kept and put on shelves or whatever. I filled this lamp full of all those memories.
That's
for
so
him.
cool.
So you can do stuff like that with them too. I actually saw a thing, what gave me the idea. I read this thing and it made me cry. This woman had saved everything she'd ever taken out of her son's pockets doing laundry in a box. And then when he turned 18, she filled the box with all of it. Filled the lamp with all of it. Like all like yo-yos and even money shit. She just filled it up with the stuff that she had taken out of his pockets, which I thought it was sweet.
That's very
cute. It gave me the feels.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot of feels.
A dried frog. No, just kidding.
My aunt, my cousin, this was one of my favorite stories. So you know when babies lose their belly buttons, like their little belly button knot, that it's like kind of dried up and it's like a scab. My cousin's fell off in his diaper when it must have fallen off in his cloth diaper and she didn't notice it. And so she washed it and it reconstituted. And so it was this big, gross umbilical cord stuck to the inside of her washer.
That is so funny.
Super gross, but also hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's so fucking gross. I feel a little gaggy. I wish I wouldn't have told that story now. But yeah, I mean, there are, the possibilities are super endless.
Yeah, I think that's makes this kind of topic hard a little bit because it's like, there's so many things you can do and find, and like the little spoon people and the little silverware people and stuff. They're so cute. Like, just
they are
finding the personality in a thing and.
That's a good way to put it, finding the personality. And also, next week we're doing an episode about steampunk.
Ah, yeah.
So that's kind of why I wanted to do a found object episode first, because I've been talking about doing an episode on found objects, and I never felt like there was enough to talk about to make an episode out of it. So we'll see if this works.
Yeah.
But definitely things like watch parts, like old watch parts, like cool shit like that you take apart, and appliances and all of that stuff can be harvested to be used.
Old jewelry,
broken. Anything like, oh my God, old jewelry is so fucking cool. And that's
Yeah.
another thing. If you go to a thrift store, oftentimes you can find little baggies of old
Yeah.
jewelry and you just buy them. I know a lady who sells at what is it called, the Plucky Maidens thing. Do you know what that is? It's like
Sounds
this with
familiar.
like junk stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but it's antiques and stuff like that. But people buy like bags of this old jewelry and just pick the sequins out and keep the sequins.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause she sells the sequins. But also then you have this cool, like you have a base,
Yeah.
like an
yeah.
old brooch or something to then attach whatever else you have found
Yes.
to it.
Yes.
So sometimes
It's
I
fun.
find cool shit and I tuck it away in a drawer, and then I don't think about it for like 2 or 3 years. And then one day I'll be sitting and I'll be working on something and go, oh,
I know. What
you
I
know
can
it would
do.
be fucking perfect for this.
Yes.
That's what just happened when I was trying to figure out, we did the, for the mail art group that I host, Kurt brought home a bunch of canisters with the pomade that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of what it's called, Murray's Ultralight or whatever, but it's the pomade he uses in his barbershop, and he brought home a ton of them. And so I mailed them out to everybody that wanted to participate in the art group, and then we made Irish Luck containers.
Yeah.
So we just decorated the containers, and then we filled it full of Lucky Charms or whatever. So I don't even remember where the fuck I got it. It's a little brass horseshoe with a 4-leaf clover in the middle of it. It
Aw.
was a pendant from something.
Uh-huh.
It was cheap jewelry. I don't know where I got it. I don't know how long I've had it. I just run across it every once in a while when I'm looking for something else. And I thought I was really stuck on what to do for that container.
Yeah.
And so I thought, oh my God, that would be perfect to like put on the top of the container. So I cut the little, of course, I snipped the little loop off the top with the wire cutters and adhered it to the top of the container.
Perfect.
And then I put gold glitter on it and made everything else green glitter, but because glitter.
Yeah.
I was feeling glittery.
Glitter.
So I think we're going to wrap this one up because I'm fucking hungry and I feel totally thrown off track because we've had so many weird interruptions. My husband came home early. My son's now home. The dog's freaking out. It's been a weird fucking day.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm just hangry and I got to take these glasses off now. But anyway, next week we are going to be doing, do you remember the name of the person that asked us to do the steampunk episode that we just read her fucking email? I'll look it up before we record next week.
Okay.
Look, I can't remember all the things all the times, people.
I can't either.
I
It's like,
I
oh,
can
no.
barely fucking remember one thing for 3 hours lately. But anyway,
Me too.
next week we are going to be back and we are going to be talking about steampunk. And Lonnie doesn't know this yet, but we're going to dinner in a few minutes and we're going to have a meeting about the podcast and talk about some things that we're going to then tell you about next week.
Cool.
So anyway, until then, go make some cool shit, yo.
Do it now.
We talked for almost an hour. Holy shit.
Good morning, Katie. This is your friend. I'm recording on the new Tascam. I'm trying to figure out what the buttons do. But every once in a while, I take a break to poo.